Picture a road with no asphalt, no signs, no maps, just sand, mountain passes, and thousands of miles of danger between you and your destination. And yet, for over 1,000 years, merchants made that journey anyway, carrying silk, spices, gold, and ideas across the most brutal terrain on Earth. They didn't just trade goods, they traded religions, languages, diseases, and discoveries that quietly reshaped every civilization they touched. This is the Silk Road, not just a trade route, the first great nervous system of the ancient world. The name Silk Road sounds romantic, almost mythical, and in a way it is, because it was never really one road. It was a sprawling web of routes, paths, and sea lanes stretching nearly 8,000 miles, connecting China in the east to the Mediterranean in the west, with branches threading through Central Asia, Persia, India, and Arabia. The German geographer Ferdinand von Richthofen coined the term in 1877, but the network itself was ancient, alive, and thunderously busy long before anyone thought to give it a name. It began to take real shape around the 2nd century BC, during China's Han Dynasty. Emperor Wu, looking to forge military alliances against the nomadic Xiongnu people threatening his northern borders, sent his diplomat Zhang Qian westward into the unknown. Zhang Qian didn't find the military allies the emperor wanted, but he came back with something far more valuable: knowledge. Knowledge of the rich kingdoms and cultures lying beyond China's western frontier and the routes that connected them. The Han Dynasty moved quickly, trade missions followed, and the Silk Road, in its earliest recognizable form, was born. Silk was the star of the show, and for good reason. Chinese silk was unlike anything the Western world had ever seen or felt. Its sheen, its lightness, its beauty made it the most coveted luxury product in the ancient world. Roman senators draped themselves in it. Persian kings demanded it as tribute. In Rome, silk was literally worth its weight in gold, and moralists complained bitterly that Roman wealth was draining east in exchange for foreign fabric. The Chinese, wisely, guarded the secret of its production with absolute ferocity. For centuries, smuggling silkworm eggs out of China was punishable by death. But silk was just the beginning. Westbound caravans also carried porcelain, tea, paper, and gunpowder, technology so transformative that they would eventually reshape the civilizations that received them. Eastbound, merchants brought glassware from Rome, cotton from India, horses from the famous Fergana Valley, animals the Chinese called blood-sweating heavenly horses and desperately needed for cavalry. Gold and silver flowed in both directions. So did ivory, spices, and precious stones. The Silk Road was not a one-way street. It was a living circulatory system, constantly exchanging value across the ancient world. The caravans themselves were extraordinary operations. A merchant didn't typically travel the entire route. That would have taken years and carried enormous personal risk. Instead, goods passed through chains of intermediaries, each controlling a segment of the road. The Sogdians, a Central Asian people based in modern Uzbekistan, became the great merchant class of the Silk Road, skilled linguists, fearless travelers, and shrewd traders who acted as the connective tissue of the entire network. Their letters, discovered preserved in a watchtower in northwest China in 1907, give us vivid human glimpses into the daily drama of life on the road. Prices, deaths, shipwrecks of caravans, personal betrayals. The great cities along the route, Samarkand, Dunhuang, Kashgar, Merv, became extraordinary cultural crossroads. Walk through Samarkand at its height, and you might hear a dozen languages in a single marketplace. Buddhist monks traveling from India would pass Christian missionaries heading east, while Zoroastrian priests conducted rituals nearby. Islam, when it emerged in the 7th century, spread with remarkable speed along Silk Road networks. The road didn't just carry goods, it carried gods. Buddhism traveled from India into China, Korea, and Japan along Silk Road pathways, transforming the spiritual lives of hundreds of millions of people. Christianity reached Central Asia and China centuries earlier than most Westerners realize. Papermaking, invented in China, moved westward, eventually reaching the Islamic world, where it supercharged intellectual culture, and then Europe, where it made the printing press possible. Every one of these transmissions reshaped history. The Silk Road was the invisible hand behind some of the most consequential cultural shifts in human civilization. But the road carried darkness too. In the 14th century, Mongol-controlled trade routes became the highway for one of the deadliest passengers in history, the bubonic plague. The Black Death, which may have originated in Central Asia, rode the Silk Road westward into the Middle East and then into Europe, killing roughly a third of the continent's population within a few devastating years. Global trade, then as now, connected people in ways that could be as lethal as they were enriching. The Mongol Empire itself had paradoxically created the Silk Road's greatest golden age before the plague arrived. Under Mongol rule, stretching from China to Eastern Europe, the entire length of the road fell under a single political umbrella for the first time. The Pax Mongolica, the Mongol peace, made travel safer than it had ever been. It was in this window that Marco Polo made his famous journey to the court of Kublai Khan, returning to Venice with stories so astonishing that his contemporaries assumed he was lying. He wasn't. But the age of overland Silk Road trade was already approaching its end. When the Ottoman Empire rose to control key Western choke points in the 15th century, European powers began desperately searching for alternative routes to Asian markets. That search sent Vasco da Gama around Africa and Christopher Columbus across the Atlantic. The Silk Road didn't just shape the ancient world, its decline directly triggered the age of exploration, which created the modern world. Sea routes proved faster, cheaper, and capable of carrying far greater volumes of goods than any camel caravan. The overland routes faded. The great Silk Road cities, once the bustling crossroads of civilization, grew quiet. Samarkand and Dunhuang became backwaters. The network that had hummed with life for over a millennium slowly fell silent. And yet its legacy runs through everything: the religions of billions of people, the technologies of modern civilization, the very idea that distant cultures could be connected through exchange rather than only through conquest. That idea was tested and proved, mile by mile, across the Silk Road's extraordinary life. Trade didn't just move goods across that desert, it moved humanity forward.